Hi everybody, I want to make some videos like this in the upcoming months or whenever I know any new information. But basically these videos are just quick videos to make sure that we all are successful in our salon ownership business. We are a successful licensee in the state of Kentucky. When I make these videos, I do not represent the Kentucky State Board of Cosmetology. Even though I am on the Kentucky State Board of Cosmetology, but these videos are purely just information for the industry to make sure that everyone's successful. Because sometimes we just need a little brush up. But if you ever really want to keep up with everything, the Kentucky State Board of Cosmetology has a website. Go into that website and there's a section for regulations. You can look up any updates and regulations. So being involved with the board, one thing I see often is many people, basically chemicals. We cannot have any like chemicals that's unlocked underneath of our place of business, like in the sinks and stuff. So one thing, or just normal chemicals like acetone or hair industry, you know, chemicals in the different sectors of our beauty industry. So one thing I recommend everyone that, I mean, a lot of you probably already know this, but if you own a beauty business in Kentucky, all your chemicals need to be in a locked cabinet. At Sam's Club, they sell a metal cabinet where it's very nice. One of my industry friends recommended it to me, and it has a really nice key and lock. So if you want to order something like that, to make sure you properly store all your chemicals. Another thing I see a problem in our industry in Kentucky is reuse of files and buffers. Well, number one, we want to have, you know, safety. We're working in the public. We want to protect our customers. So we cannot reuse files and buffers, sanding bands, and all of that. So, you know, we're heading towards a positive direction in the beauty industry. One thing I recommend that please, files, buffers, pumice stones, all those are one-use items. So at the nail supply or online, you can buy them in bulk. You can buy mini buffers in bulk, so you can buy mini files in bulk. Use it one time, give it away to your customer, or throw it away. Don't reuse, because that, number one, it's unsafe for the customers, and another thing that will be on the checklist on if, you know, that will, you know, if State Board goes in and they see all that, you know, you're going to probably get a fine from that because it's unsafe practice. The reason why State Board exists is to protect the public, and we're the professional licensees, so we want to make sure that we're keeping everybody safe. Another problem I see is unlicensed workers. So, you know, even if you're from a different state and you have a license, but you're working in a Kentucky salon, you want to make sure that you properly transfer your license to Kentucky and have an active license in the state of Kentucky before you practice anywhere. How do you properly transfer your license? Well, step one, let's say your license is from Tennessee or something. Number one, you got to go into the Tennessee website. You got to pay like however much it is, $25, $35, to pay them so they can send a certification letter over to Kentucky. You want to make sure that it's sent by email to Maxine in the office, because she's the one that handles transfers. So, you know, start that process. Make sure you get the certification letter sent over to Kentucky. Then you go over to the Kentucky State Board of Cosmetology website, and you're gonna create a profile. When you log on, like when you search up Kentucky State Board of Cosmetology website, when you enter into that website, on the right there's a login button. Well, press that button, create your profile, verify and everything. And when you scroll down and you press, once you're in your own profile, scroll down, because everything's done online nowadays. Scroll down, press transfer application. It costs about, I think, $100, maybe some tax or something. Start your process. Upload everything that's required in it. They want a nice passport photo of you behind a white background. They want your high school diploma, because Kentucky law requires you to have a high school diploma or GED in order to acquire licensure in the beauty industry in Kentucky. But if your high school diploma happened to be from a different country, Kentucky law requires that you must, properly translate it in English, but it has to be translated in the United States. So I know some countries offer a translation kind of within that country, but the law in Kentucky says you have to get a United States translation. So one translation company that I recommend that's pretty quick, they do everything in 24 hours online, is rushtranslate.com. They're pretty good. If you need to translate it in Cambodian, like in Khmer, there's another website, because I know Rush Translate, I don't think they do Khmer language. So the other website is called immytranslate.com, immytranslate.com. They do a really good job also. So get that translation. When you upload in that profile application, make sure that you upload the original diploma from the country, and you have to also upload the required translation. So get all that information in there, and then go ahead and submit the application, and then pay however much it is, like $100 or something. And then you have to keep up with your emails. If everything is successful, it should be active in a few days. But if you don't have enough of the requirements, meaning, because Kentucky, the law is you have to have 450 hours of education for nails. For cosmetology, I think it's 1,500. Esthetician is maybe 750. So you must meet all the requirements, okay? So a lot of things are written in the law. So let's say that you're from a different state, and your other state was only 300 hours. Well, the Kentucky law most likely will consider, if you have over 2 years of experience, then they might consider your transfer. But if it's under 2 years, then they might tell you that, oh, you're missing some education requirements. So then you would have to find a school in Kentucky and go back to school, how many missing hours that you need. And then sometimes, because you don't have as much experience, they'll require that you test again. So when people ask me these questions, it's not a set answer, because it really depends on how many years you've been licensed, how many hours did you acquire in your education. So there's a lot of factors that are involved. So I just want to give people some insight about that. So I think, number one, salon ownership in Kentucky, you must have your facility properly licensed. That will be called a salon license. Kentucky law requires that you post all your license. So you have to post your salon license on the wall. You have to post the professional license of everyone that is working in the salon, because if you don't, that could also mean another fine for you. Okay, so in order to be successful, let's all work together, communicate, and let's all follow all these little things. It helps make it easier for all the inspectors, makes everybody's life more smooth. So I will continue to try to make some of these videos to help everybody out. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.